brothers. Wait, cousins.
All right, and
That was last time,
I just clicked live as you said that. Excellent way to start.
right?
Yeah, so precisely. So we had arrived at the elven city of Sumara. The first sort of encounter was as you came down into the city, the Vanguard Wardens came and tried to arrest you because you looked like strangers. But a bit of a heated confrontation. You were taken away to the Circle of the Blades quarter, the canton rather. Had a bit of an interrogation that none of you played ball with, and eventually you just waited for the healer to come and revert Ayana back to her proper state. Once she was reverted, she was immediately recognized by the warden Karen, who was kind of the lead of the little group that had taken you. And he was kind of ashen-faced and shocked at her. Apparently she had been someone of stature. She sent a few messages privately. She was calling for a confluence of the Seven, which is a gathering of the leaders of the Seven Circles. And then the response was that it was going to be happening tonight at moonrise. So you had a bit of time to kill, and so you went searching and just exploring the city. I think you went to a blacksmith, got some tricky little weapons or shields made out of fey metal, and yeah, poked around, went to a tavern, met a dwarf who was there as well. And I think we left while you were at the tavern, after having a bit of a discussion. I think Rio was asking a few questions about his past, his heritage, his family, asked if he had, if his parents had any siblings, his parents being Ratha and Renaya Silmara. And Ayana said, yeah, Renaya had a sister. Turns out she had decided to leave her people and go into the realms of the men because she had fallen in love with a human. Few people clicked, put two and two together, and the reveal that we finished on was that Erendor's mother, Ereneth, who we believe is being held hostage or held prisoner in the capital city of Vel-Luminor by the Empress herself, is in fact Rio's auntie. So I think that's a perfect place to start. Why don't we just jump up there in the tavern. Ayana is just a mixture of humor and shock at this reveal, as she kind of looks to you to see what your reaction is.
I am absolutely taking a swig of whatever drink I've got.
Just completely stunned.
You see Ayana says, well, it certainly changes things. Erendor, I told you that we were going to need to come up with some way to rescue your mother. That seems all the more imperative now.
Yeah. It absolutely does.
Possibly there's something we should aim for in the short term then. Let's discuss that later. We have a conference to attend tonight.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
The royal blood requirement to open the fancy portal door. Is that the heir apparent or just royal blood?
Requires, I believe, someone of the royal bloodline who is wielding the signet of the family. The ring that Rio wears.
There's only one of those rings?
As far as I'm aware.
Is the royal bloodline on his mother or his father's side?
Renaya was the direct descendant.
Well, that makes things a bit spicy.
Certainly does. On the other hand, it is great news. We had thought that your family had been extinct for a century. Some people had lost all hope and moved on. But now not only do we find one, we find two.
I suppose all those half-elves have got to come from somewhere.
Indeed. And I note, Erendor, you do take after your father. So that might also make things interesting. Erendor, how do you feel about this? Do you want this to be made known? Or would you rather be sort of kept in the dark for now? I don't think anyone would question that you could just pass as a human.
It might be good for it to be documented for use later.
Okay.
But I would prefer that it is not known publicly.
All right. I'll bear that in mind. Questions may be asked tonight at the Confluence, but we can avoid that topic. Speaking of which, she kind of leans out the window. Does seem like the moon is nearly about to rise, so how about we get on our way? I want to be late for my own Confluence that I called for. Shall we then? She stands up. Gets ready to
Wait.
start. Yeah?
I still have questions.
Of course. Would you like to... Shall we chat about it along the way? Or is this something that you need to...
Before we go,
Of course. She'll sit back down again.
yeah. Sorry, I've been in a bit of shock ever since you've told me all of this and didn't get a chance to talk to you outside of the city. What are you planning on telling everyone? What do you expect from me?
It's a good question. I was going to ask you that as well. What would you want to be made public? I don't think that, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think that we're going to be able to get away from not telling the council. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that we absolutely should, because the people of the city, there has been despair not having the family available, not having them around for a century. Many of them have despaired. I don't know what the future looks like, Rio. I really don't. I don't know if we just immediately put you on the throne and now you're ruling the city. I personally don't see that happening.
I have no intention of just staying here. I don't know this. This is all foreign.
And from what I know of you, I fully expected that. I doubted that we would be able to just keep you here in the city to ourselves. There will be people who probably think that is wise, because having thought that we had lost your family once, prospect of you going back out into the world and facing danger may be too much for them to agree with. But knowing you like I do in the short time, I don't think there's much that people are going to be able to do to stop you.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bone to settle at a bare minimum. And I mean, pointing at Erendor, I mean, now I know I have an auntie as well and a cousin. I can't leave her out there either.
I agree. Thought as much as well.
Who knows? Maybe they can find a nice elf lass before we go.
You just get the most sheepish look. All right, I guess. Lead on.
All right, let us go. She will lead you out. You're in tavern down in the Heartstone Commons, and she'll lead you over to the east towards the Etherean Quarter. Sorry, the Etherean Canton. It's a The architecture of this section of the city is built up into the side wall of the caldera here. Lots of towers built from, glass prisms and natural stone arches formed that seem to be formed out of the rock walls itself. Brilliant glowing spheres just orbiting around certain buildings here and there. It looks like a center of magic of the city because it is. Up towards the top, you can see there is a larger building that sort of stands out from the rest. She gestures to it, the Locus Arcanum. It's a sphere. It appears to be just constructed out of glass or crystal or something. And it's encircled by these big golden orrery rings, which is sort of rotating, like you would see of a model of the solar system or something like that. Heading up towards it, it's like currently docked up here at the top of the wall, and as you get close, a set of steps rise up, sort of covered on both sides with nice stone railings. Heading up, you can see there is a woman waiting for you, and a couple of sort of attendants either side of her. Like, I wouldn't say guards. The Circle of the Weave wouldn't probably have like soldiers or guards, but attendants, but probably some lower mage or something to that effect. The woman is a sort of medium height, oldish looking elven woman. She's got short black hair, cut like a pixie cut. Some streaks of silver in the hair, the dark black hair streaked with silver, showing a little bit of age. She's got a nice sort of silver circlet surrounding the back of the head, almost like a inverted crown, and the circlet has a couple of jewels that you can see. The robes are nice, tight-fitting blue robes with hems of silver. And she's just sort of standing there with a passive, a passive, neutral expression on her face. You would have noticed as you had been coming across the city that Ayana had flipped up her hood so that she was very much so concealing her identity. And as you get up to the top of the steps, Ayana's sort of leading the way here. The woman just kind of looks over at all of you. Eyes linger on Ayana's figure. She nods and just says, "Follow me. Let's go to my quarters." She just swivels, turns, and walks inside the building, the Locus Arcanum, and Ayana just follows. As you start heading, the lady here says, "To my private quarters, actually. We won't need any. We won't need any help, thank you. I'll handle this myself." The two attendants kind of like look at each other, a little bit of a frown, and then just nod, get back outside or something. She leads you up through the building. It's a very, very strangely constructed interior. How to make a sensible building that's confined within a sphere lends itself to a lot of strange staircases winding in different directions and weirdly shaped rooms. But she eventually leads you up through a few stairs to kind of a room deeper inside that's more private. Not having said anything at this point. And Ayana has also been silent. She eventually leads you inside this room, and you can see it just appears to be a sort of nice private office. Nothing too ceremonial. It's got a desk, lots of bookshelves. There's a big viewing window out across the city as it's built up against the side of the sphere. And you can see there's some sort of living areas here where there's some seats set around a table. There's a little fireplace that's just burning there with no chimney. It's just magically burning against the side of the wall somehow. And there's a door that seems to lead to some other quarters. The woman sort of stops in the middle of the room and, with her back still to you, and just waits a moment. Ayana at this point still has her hood up. Although I think now that the door sort of closes behind you, Ayana will just take the hood off, and so you can see her silver hair flow back out. And you hear the woman just say, 40 years and not one message. And Ayana starts saying, Alithia, it was better this way. There was no way of knowing if... And the woman, Alithia, turns, walks up to Ayana and just like slaps her across the face. Not hard enough to like seriously injure her, but hard enough to mean it. Ayana's like, puts a hand up to her face. Ellie, what? And then the woman just like kind of reaches out, grabs the front of Ayana's clothes and just like pulls her in and just plants a massive kiss on her and embraces her. A couple of beats go as they're locked in this embrace. Ayana just looks a bit shocked kind of initially until she kind of puts her arms around Alithia as well. Alithia steps back and just says, "You left me in charge of the circle. I have been furious, terrified, proud, and lonely every single day. Never again." Ayana's like, I know. I know. I thought it was for the... Never again. Okay? Okay. I really did think it was for the best. You didn't have to cut me off entirely. Ayana just kind of falls silent at this. And Alithia now turns to the rest of you. All right, well, who are your friends, Ayana? And what was so important that you had me request a confluence tonight? We can catch up later. I'm sure there is much to discuss in length, but for now, I assume we should get to business. Ayana nods and just says, there is a lot to explain. I don't even really know where to begin. This group I met while I was on the other side. Extremely resourceful and helped me to uncover a few secrets that confirmed some of the things we were fearing the worst of. Alithia sort of nods, like she kind of gets the point of what she's saying. You know what? It's alright if I go and change into something. I don't think I can go in front of the council dressed like this. Ayana's still got her like form-fitting black leather clothes that she was wearing when she was disguised as Maris's advisor. And Alithia says, of course, over there, you know where it is. She just like points to the door on the other side of the room. And Ayana starts heading off and she just says, do you guys want to... Look, let me introduce you properly. This is Lady Alithia Voss. She is the Meridian of the Circle of the Weave. As you might have gathered, we have some history. The Emerald Ceremony took place about 40 years ago. That was when some of us who thought it best to actually head back into the material realm and investigate, support where we could, help where we could. I led that charge as I was the previous Meridian of the Circle of the Weave. Some people didn't agree. Alithia here wanted to come with me, but I didn't trust anyone to handle things here other than her. So she made the sacrifice to stay behind. How about you let her know some of what you had uncovered in regards to the Empress and the Red Priests while I go and change. And she heads out of the room towards the towards this other chamber. Heads through it. And Alithia looks over at you and says, all right, well, the council is going to be starting soon. Anything you can let me know in advance will be helpful. What is this about the Empress? What info have you uncovered?
I'll reach in my little bag and I'll pull out the perfect, immaculate drawing of the Red Priest tattoo. Unroll it on the table.
While doing so, I will... the Empress, Morgana Eventide. Very little information that we have about them from Red Priest that was extracted from. We believe that the Empress, and through the Red Priests as well, they serve Karazov, the Crimson Shadow.
Eyebrows shoot up at this.
We believe we might know where their base of operations is within the material plane. We don't know with certainty. Basically, that's what we know, and Ayana has brought us straight here.
Yeah, well, between the lines, they've probably been operating for a bit, but they've recently stepped up and are involving themselves more visibly in Empire affairs. Empire has always been a bit of a pain in the ass in the Empress herself, but whatever these guys are and doing with undeath, dark magics, zombies, who knows, is definitely not a standard MO that we've seen. And if they're stepping up, then they're stepping out.
Alithia, taking this all in, you can see she kind of glance over at the drawing as well. Bit of a grim expression crosses her face. Well, that is certainly a lot to take in. Can see why Ayana was so keen to get this information heard, although I wonder why she couldn't have just sent a message. It does certainly seem like a portent for something brewing. It feels like there are forces in this world looking to start the Chaos Wars again. If it is true that this Karazov is driving and manipulating things, then that is certainly what it would be pointing towards. He is a well-known figure from the original Chaos Wars. Long thought dead, though. How did you confirm that it was him? Where did you learn of this name?
I just look at Kai.
And I spoke to the spirit of the Red Priest via the Speak with Dead spell. And after that name was murmured, the flesh of the head disintegrated.
I think that was because it was the third question more than the name.
No, but the head shouldn't have done that, right? Like, it should have just, became empty, not just disintegrate.
Do you have any reason to believe it was lying to you or trying to deceive you in any way?
It didn't feel so. I was dressed up at the time, so it wouldn't recognize me. I didn't detect anything that seemed distrustful.
Okay.
To my knowledge.
They can't lie, and the answer was quite direct.
It almost sounded like the spirit was proud of saying the name.
Okay. All right. Well,
Should be noted that the Empress was said to be serving the Shadow, not the other way around.
it would make sense. They were known to create puppets to do their bidding back in the day. This is certainly a lot to have thrust upon us. One moment, I'm just living here. Haven't heard from her, just gestures to the other room for decades. And here she arrives on my doorstep with strangers in tow, with wild evidence pointing towards the imminent demise of the cosmos, I guess.
That's just a regular Tuesday, isn't it?
Apparently, the confluence is certainly going to be interesting tonight.
I reach into the bag of holding and unfurl the map. Arendor, that location you were thinking of, and I circle on the map. I think it was called Valfuria.
Yeah, big volcano, big ominous volcano right in the center of the continent.
There seems to be
Yep.
something special about that spot.
Yep.
I mean, if I was an evil overlord, that's where I'd be running stuff from.
Yeah, like honestly.
It is almost poetic, isn't it? The writers of this world have no creative intuition. She doesn't say that. Scrap that from the record.
I mean, the real
Adds to
world
notes.
lost their shit, right? So
Yeah. Hey, cliches are right. At this point, Ayana comes back in, and you can see she has ditched her tight leathers and her hair she's let out before. It's usually up in a tight ponytail. She's still got her half moon spectacles on the tip of her nose, but now her hair is sort of let out, loose with a couple of braids around above her ears. She's wearing dark blue robes, kind of similar adornment to what Ilithia is wearing. Clearly, there's a theme here in the weave, except hers are a bit more sort of flowing and less form-fitting, more like in typical archmage robes. Yeah, she comes in and apparently had been listening to the conversation with her elven ears. Illy, you...
and then there's the other thing. And I'll gesture to her to elaborate on the other thing.
Right. Illy, you did ask why I brought them here so urgently. I like that mind of yours. You're clever. There is more to it than this. She turns to you, Rio, and just kind of like, nods at you. I trust Illy with my life, Rio. If there's anyone that you would feel comfortable talking to, it would be her. And having her an ally on the council, how do you feel? Are you comfortable?
I'd nod my head. I don't say anything.
Would you like to show Illy your ring, maybe?
No hitting.
I step forward and spin the ring around so she can see it.
Ilithia's got a bit of a confused, but interested look on her face, seeing this exchange. She steps forward and leans down to take a closer look at it, and quickly looks up at your face, shock across her face. Looks to Ayana. Ayana just nods. Wait, so how did you get here? Did you didn't actually plane shift? I thought that the council would be furious. And Ayana's like, yeah. Rio here and this ring, they were able to open the gateway. Alethea steps back and just
So not technically illegal.
runs her hands through her hair. Oh, this is a lot to take in. Who are you? She says to you, Rio.
Apparently my parents were the king and queen.
Your parents were Ratha and Renaya. When were you born? How do you exist?
All I remember is waking up in the middle of a forest with the clothes on my back, this ring, and no memories. About 80 years ago.
Oh, boy. Okay. Well, this certainly does change things. And what are your intentions?
Don't really have any at this stage.
I see that. It appears like this is a lot for you, as it is for me. I guess all I can say is just thank you. Thank you for coming. You think there's a lot to this that you don't understand. And she looks at Ayana. Ayana, this means that he can open, and she just nods. Yeah, I know.
I also look at Ayana and I just go, I wasn't given much choice.
She does manage to look quite guilty. I'm sorry. You can't blame me. It's civilization lost here, thought dead for centuries. I had to get you safe. I had to learn the truth. It wasn't just some fake. You can see Alithia and Ayana are sort of like sharing kind of like a knowing look about this. And then Ayana just says, well, anyway, we can talk about all that later. Let's talk about the confluence tonight. What do we need to know? What has happened in the decades I've been gone? And Alithia sort of switches more to business mode and sits back and says to you, well, maybe a bit tricky in some places. Kalen Vane, he has the support of Naivara of the Scales and Elro here of the Scrolls. They will be the ones that will be most difficult to convince. They've become isolationists. They think that why should we care about anyone else other than ourselves? The others are more neutral. Elder Soliloquy and Fenian and Silvaris. They'll be the ones that I believe we can try to convince. Kalen himself, he's not evil. He just believes the best way to protect our people is to control everything. With the royal family being gone, he's sort of assumed a self-imposed position of leadership among the council. The rest of us humor him. He had lost his son to the Veil of Eternal Night some decades ago. He's been different since Asha. As for your claim to the royal bloodline, Rio, Naivara of the Scales will probably come up with some convoluted legal argument. Just remember, Article 12 of the Accords does state that unlocking the vault is a binding verification mechanism. So keep that in mind. We have a few tricks up our sleeve. However, I think it would be wise if I appeared neutral. I won't openly advocate for you unless absolutely necessary. In terms of the goals, I think that convincing them of the true light, the true threat that approaches us is going to be paramount. And as for yourself, Rio, I guess that's up to you. Do you wish to reveal yourself to the council? And if I had it my way, just to see the expression on Kalen's face, that would be everything. But it's your choice.
Just bear in mind it may become necessary. I'm sure they'll try to bring something for a plane crossing. Everyone here seems quite opposed to that. If needs be, showing that we came here by legal, quote-unquote, means may be required to shut that shit down.
So,
If I must, I must.
I'm going to look to her and say, end goal, convincing them of threat is one thing, but convince them and then what? You're expecting the Elven armies to form up and march back to the material realm to take on the Shadow.
I honestly don't know at this point. If anything, we could send more people through to help with more intelligence gathering or support where we could. there must be some resistance. There must be some rebellion rising that we could lend our aid to.
Might even be a hobgoblin kingdom by the time we get back.
That reminds me. Has anyone touched those sending stones in a long time?
Nope.
Speaking of rebellions, there is a plan of rebellion.
We may have lit a few fires.
Only a few.
There's 2 cities pledged to the cause at this stage, I believe, and 2 unexpected potential allies.
Excellent. Well, we'll see what the council says, but it seems to me like there is an opportunity here. I imagine we probably want to continue to keep our involvement a secret until the time is right. The existence of our society in aiding the rebellion, keeping it a surprise, I think, would probably be a good thing, right? And then if some sort of strike or assault was made, we could appear. And
Right, so your expedition for the last 40 years wasn't approved by this council or whoever's been in charge?
do you say that to Ayana?
Mm-hmm.
There were some who opposed it, but ultimately they were overruled. I believed that it was paramount that we don't leave behind our people on the material realm. There were 100 of us that came through and spread out across the continent.
Did you keep in touch with them? Are they still alive?
Not very often. We thought it would best that we keep very, very low contact so that if any of us were compromised, we couldn't put the rest of us in danger.
That and just to the rest of the group. I'm in Valnoran. That elf up there. Did we ever catch her name?
Valnoran. Which elf in Valnoran?
The one that was accompanying
hundreds
Jed
of
General Dickhead.
Oh, the one we killed.
I wasn't gonna say it out loud.
She was serving the Empire, so...
Did
And
we ever
trying to
catch
kill
her
us.
name, or did we only catch her name via storyline proxy, so we didn't actually catch her name?
Marcel. No, was it Marcel the Broken?
Yeah, it was Marcel the Broken.
It's a good point. I think you probably would have heard Blake Marsh say a name, just Marcel, at some point.
Marcel.
Yeah.
Would Marcel have been one of yours?
I don't think so. Potentially she had been captured in the initial invasion of the Empire 100 years ago. Would be my guess. I don't recognize her. I didn't recognize her.
Thought I'd check. We ran into one up there. Surprised that you weren't more interested in up there in Valnor. Or maybe you didn't have anything to do with it.
It's difficult to think of the right time to reveal ourselves. To be honest, she actually had kept herself very secret. I didn't learn much about her until you all arrived.
And the old Shadow's favour for puppets, that may have explained a little bit.
You see Alithia's eyes just flash for a moment as she is to be sending a message, and you feel the building just like rock slightly as everything starts shaking, and then you see the city outside starting to fall below you as the building lifts up. And Alithia just says, "Well, it's starting soon."
Just a quick question. Does anyone occupy the royal throne currently?
No, the citadel has been left mostly empty, apart from the odd caretaker. It still has guards stationed ceremonially, but people do not live there.
But this Kaelin fellow has assumed the role of evil visor. I mean, regent.
Yeah. The seat is left empty at the council, as you'll see tonight.
Mm.
See, now, you want to go take a seat?
It definitely sets a tone.
As much as I want to see Kalen absolutely lose his mind, I feel like that might be pushing it a bit.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
Sometimes you got to push people over the edge.
Indeed.
Yeah, to see their
Don
true
Dash should go
nature.
sit in that seat.
No one will see him over any tables anyway, so
I could put my seat on top of it.
then maybe.
This Kalen sounds like he's the leader of the I wouldn't call it tradition. What would you call it? The stayers, the phase.
He was one of the most outspoken voices, yeah.
Who is he leader of?
He's the meridian of the blade, the circle of the blade.
So the iron. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. It makes sense that a security-minded person would want to stay secure, but we might need to learn a little bit more about him if he's going to be our main opponent, I guess is the word.
So let me get this straight, right? So if the elves and us do nothing, the Chaos Wars start again, and they take over the material plane, and they can just come and attack every other plane if they get powerful enough. Is that correct?
It's
and
possible.
if we don't stop them, then this plane is at threat too.
Potentially all would be. The original shattering that happened, that took place before the Chaos Wars, it did burst the seams of the planes themselves and opened chaos into the material plane itself. That is where the creatures, the monsters, the magic came from. Before that, the material plane was very, very mundane, shall we say. 1 in 10,000 people could call upon the arcane, and similarly, fewer people had any sort of direct communication with the gods. Shattering changed all that. Monsters came through, chaos came through, magic came through.
So essentially what you're saying is we're on the cusp, or the beginning, of a potential second shattering.
That is what we want to avoid. It would be calamity upon the world. You're talking mass extinction.
So no one's safe. So okay, we can use that to your advantage.
Indeed. Hopefully the rest of them are sensible enough to see that as well. Anyway, shall we go? He gets up, starts to lead you to the room. This time, leads you to a more sort of central part of the building, and there is a sort of like a floating stairway up in the top part of this building here, and you walk along it out towards the edge of the glass walls, and a door just sort of like materially opens on the side. You come out, pass through the door, and you look down, and the city is just beneath you. The building is floating towards the central spire that is constructed up at the top of the Royal Citadel. So the Citadel is built atop of the Heartstone, which is this big, tall, sort of whitish, greyish stone pillar, and the Citadel's built on top of it. You can kind of look to the sides and you see the 6 other buildings are also converging upon this spire now. And eventually they all get close enough, and bridges of light appear between the buildings and the central spire itself. Similarly to what you've seen throughout the rest of the city, there have been plenty of sort of bridges of light. Built amongst the buildings and archways and so on. And Alithia will lead you out across the Bridge of Light. It's a little bit disconcerting at first, stepping out for the first time onto something that looks kind of immaterial. But as soon as you stand on it, it vibrates a little bit. Maybe feel like a little bit of temperature or something. But ultimately, it is solid, and you're able to follow her along without problem. Yeah, so they drift in slowly, almost like they're pulled by invisible strings as they come into dock. You can see down below, like, crowds are starting to gather as people come out of buildings to look up, as they notice that, yeah, something's happening up here. Confluence is taking place.
Riv,
Yeah.
is seeming still up? Are we still all disguised? Or the ones who haven't had it dropped on?
Except for Donda.
Yeah.
I thought two of you had it dropped.
I didn't drop mine.
Ayana, well, I think Ayana has to control it, so she's dropped her own.
Oh,
and
okay.
Donda would have been dropped earlier. Would the rest of you have liked to have asked for yours to be dropped?
I see no need for it to be active.
Yeah, we don't have to pretend that we're not elven people.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So let's say she had dropped it when you had gotten to Alithia's quarters.
We're not surprising anyone because I'm sure our good friend, the captain that captured us, has passed the information on to his superior.
Mm.
I'm just contemplating whether I want people to see, if they see that I'm an elf straight away or not.
Maybe you should hide your features for now, and then you do a great reveal.
Well, that's default. That's always default, unless it gets taken from me.
He's just a tall dwarf.
All right, never mind. Keep going. Sorry, Riff.
All good. All good. All right. Alithia will lead you along. You eventually get to the sort of central platform. You pass through like a dome, translucent, so you can kind of still see the stars through it, but it just has a faint sort of clouding effect, slightly opaque, just to have a little bit of privacy and also weather from the elements. Inside, there is a long circular table. There are 7 seats sort of spread around the table here, and so this is massive. It sort of fills the diameter, well, circumference, I should say, of most of the room, and there's a break in one side of it, allowing some steps passed down through it into the central area. The idea being that people who are presenting information would come through and stand in the central area with the sort of the 7 counselors rising up on their tables in the sort of circle around it. There is a seat that is very obviously empty as the rest of the councillors start to file on in and take their seats. One is left empty. It's separate from the others, clearly indicating that it is not part of the council. You surmise this would be where Renaya or Ratha would have sat in such times. So you see the rest of the councils come in. There are, I think, Alithia probably would have rattled off descriptions to them of them to you. So there is, let's see. Alithia Voss, obviously, you've already met. Kalen Vane, he's the Meridian of the Blade, stoic. He's got lots of scars on his face. He's got a kind of dirty look on his dirty expression right now as his eyes immediately lock onto your party, who are at the moment just hanging back, standing to the side with Ayana and her hood up. He's just sort of like tracking you as he walks into the room. Soliloquy, sort of a like slightly older looking woman. She seems gentle. She's got a kind face. She is the Meridian of the Circle of the Dawn, the circle that specializes in healing, spirituality. Elro here, Gemflower, is the Meridian of the Circle of the Scroll. He's ancient. He just looks dry, slightly like hunched over. Looks like the sort of person who would just like always be carrying a book or a scroll or something. And in fact, right now he is actually, he has a scroll in one hand that kind of like slowly hobbles over to the side, sits down on the desk, puts the scroll down. leans forward on his hands, rests his head on his hands in front of him. Naivara of the Scales, the Circle of the Scales, the Legal and Justice Circle. Young, sharp-tongued, sort of like everything about her seems sharp. She's got a sharp chin, sharp jawline, very clean and tidy haircut. And you can see she is sort of like deferring to Kaelin. She locks eyes with him, and sort of something passes between them as she then also trains her eyes upon you. Finian of the Circle of the Loom, the circle that is across architecture, construction, building. He has sort of a cautious expression on his face. He is clearly a perfectionist. His clothes are immaculate, not a fold out of place. Sort of plain brown hair, caught back in a ponytail. And he seems comfortable though. He comes forward and sits down. He glances over at you guys, but seeing guests in the confluence isn't necessarily unseen before, so he seems comfortable. And the last is the Meridian of the Circle of the Root, the Druids, the Agriculturalists, Warden Silvaris. She seems wild, less formal than anyone else. She's not wearing neat and tidy clothes. She's got rough sort of robes. There's like moss hanging off part of it. She's like carrying a branch that she apparently just like still had in her hands. She kind of has a bit of a suspicious look in her eyes as she looks across at you. But yeah, she was one of the ones that Alithia said could potentially be convinced she isn't necessarily by default aligned with Kaelin. After everyone gets settled, Ayana steps forward, and you can see her head just turns to the side slightly. It's still with the hood up. She just glances over at Alithia, and Alithia, neutral face, maybe a slight smile. Ayana will step into the very center of the chamber, and has gestured for you guys to remain behind for now. Throws back her hood, revealing her presence, and the room just sort of like bursts into sort of discussion and conversation between them, and you see Kaelin just stand up. Lady Syndrosa, how have you returned? Speak at once. And Ayana just kind of immediately breaks into a description of kind of leaving out how she got here, and just immediately breaks into the reason, which is the threat that faces you. I'm not going to relitigate everything we've just spoken about, but she essentially just goes through all of the evidence that has been found in her time on the material plane, and eventually she will sort of like gesture to you guys to come forward to present sort of corroborating evidence as well. And you can sort of step down into the circle with her. Kaelin's been sort of like listening to this, and you can see, I mean, he's kind of still looking slightly frustrated. And like before you guys kind of come forward to start saying anything, he just says like, you are forgetting one thing, Lady Syndrosa. This is all good and well, everything you say. We have to obviously uncover the truth of the matter. That is not some fairy tale or some fiction that you have just invented so that you could come crawling back to your pet. How did you get here? Did you break the tenants? Have you thrown everything that we've been working for, all the risks that we've been trying to avoid? Have you just thrown them away at a whim? And Ayana just says, no, I did not step through the plains. Bit of a discussion around the table, sort of mumbling to each other. At this point, Ayana will look to you, Rio, and just sort of like cocks an eyebrow.
out of character. I don't want to do this.
It's your character, man. You can do whatever you want.
I brought us here.
Step forward. And who are you?
Sorry. I step forward and just ditch the. I guess I ditched the hood and the bandana. My name's Ryu.
Well, Rio. Can't say I recognize you. You say that you brought the rest of you here, and I assume Lady Sindrosa. How's that possible? You've got some new ritual you've come up with to allow passing through the plains without causing damage?
I just laugh a bit. New. Just an old one.
Almost ancient at this point.
I opened the portal from Ithilmara.
Some more murmuring. See Kalen. Expression goes a bit grimmer. Portal.
Yeah, the one that you used to get here in the first place.
Impossible. Impossible. That engine has been locked for a century. No one can access it. No one can use it.
Improbable,
did.
not impossible.
No one?
Well, I did.
Lady Sindrosa, what game are you playing here? She's like, I'm playing no games. He speaks the truth. He was able to use the engine. So what you're saying is, you're claiming to be of the royal Silmara bloodline. This is outrageous. It's a laugh. Ayana, the consequences facing you will be severe.
Hold on. Do you know how that engine works?
Of course, a member of the royal bloodline must access it using the signet ring that only one of them ever carries. Signet that has been lost when our dear king and queen were murdered some century ago.
Don't say anything. I just lift my hand up. The ring's still pointing inwards at my my palm. I look at it myself for a second, and then I turn and show him with my hand facing outwards. Don't say a word.
When he said king and queen, by the way, he sort of said it with a bit of derision. As you do this, he sort of stands up and like leans forward and looks. This is a trick. They are obviously just trying to come up with some sort of subterfuge to justify Lady Sindrosa's selfish need to return. I don't believe it. We built this council to protect the elven people. We needed no king for 100 years. No king while we rebuilt. No king while we survived. The stranger just walked in through a Feywild tear. We do not know what he's already traded away to the forces that might have helped him to get here. Ayana, maybe she's already gone to the other side, the agents of chaos. She abandoned this city 40 years ago. Why are we going to believe them now? And he's sort of not just saying this to you, he's sort of saying it to like the rest of the counselors as well.
If only there was some sort of order in the council that dealt with laws and finding out the truth. And
Yeah.
I look directly at the leader of the Judicants.
Naivara, yeah. She's sort of stands up. The Accords do explicitly govern succession, specifically Article 7. Any claim to the Silmara line requires either a living witness of the prior crown or an invocation of a verification mechanism recognized within the Accords. You have no witness. You have no documentation. All you have is a story, a woman who has been absent for 40 years, and a young man who just appeared out of nowhere. On what legal basis do you ask us to confirm this?
Do we have one of these engines in the city?
Alithia will just sort of cough a little bit, go, well, there is the Vault of Memories. Some murmuring. You are all aware that, in a similar fashion, only someone from the Silmara bloodline can open the vault. At this, I think Soliloquy would sort of say she is of the Dawn. That's right. That is true. If he could be shown to be able to open the vault, it would more or less confirm his presence and the truth of the matter. Alithia says, and Naivara, you're quoting the Accords at us. Article 7, you say. Have you forgotten Article 12? At this, Naivara, you see, just pales slightly. It's a little bit of consternation or embarrassment or something across their face. I'm more than happy to recite it if you have forgotten, Naivara. And Alithia will say, Article 12 states that unlocking the vault will in fact be a binding verification mechanism. As simple as that. And Naivara just sort of like, almost shrinks a little bit in frustration. You see Kaelin just like also looking frustrated. More and more vexed. Elro here from the Scrolls stands up and just says, every time that the elven people have acted as saviors of the material plane, we have been diminished for it. The Chaos Wars, the campaign against the Dread Kings, every time we bled for a world that forgot us within a generation. I do not necessarily dispute the young man's lineage. I dispute the idea that this time will be any different. And he looks over at Kaelin, nods, and sits back down and puts his hands back into his, puts his head, rests them back down into his hands. Kaelin nods. Indeed, what do you have to say to this?
Keeper of the Scrolls. During the last shattering, were the realms other than material affected at all?
Would you like to roll a persuasion check? That's a very good question. Holy shit, I just realized we haven't done any rolling so far. I'm sorry about that.
Doesn't have to roll.
Don't have to roll.
It's all law.
I'm just
Doesn't
asking.
have to be critical.
Yeah, no, let's do it. Let's do a roll a persuasion check.
Can I insight it from here?
Yep, you can also roll insight. Yeah, so he, Elro here obviously is just sort of, he's saying this because he wants to stay on the good side of Kaelin. He's citing it from habit, not necessarily from any particular conviction. It almost sounds like he's like reciting it directly from a book or something that he doesn't even necessarily believe in still himself. with the insight, I think, Kai, you kind of pick up on this, and you're able to sort of also present the similar sort of idea. How about we give Berberus advantage so you can roll again?
Okay. Turns out not having a face makes things tricky.
13 is fine. It's a good question. And Elro here.
I can't persuade him. I'm just asking the truth.
Yeah, exactly. The man does raise a good point. Being isolationist won't necessarily just help us. If we are on the verge of another shattering, we will feel the effects here, Lord Kalen. Kalen looks over him, frustrated, shakes his head a bit.
So, well, I would like to just ask, what I don't know about the shatterings way before my time. What are the effects? What would happen if a second shattering were to occur here?
Well, you want a lore history now in the middle of this? Well,
Just a quick one. You can just say it in 1 or 2 sentences. What would it be bad? Catastrophic?
the original shattering took place on the material plane. Chaos entered there, and it had outstretching effects that rippled through the cosmos. They were not able to get much further, but all indications pointed towards that they were not going to be satisfied with just the material plane. They were coming for the others eventually as well. That is what the history reports.
So what you're saying is, if you do nothing and stay here, and they're not satisfied, you're in trouble anyway.
Only if the story is true, and only if nothing can be done to stop them. Indeed.
Right. So I guess if we were to, before we decide anything, should we try and enact Article 12 first to see if we can verify anything to begin with? No point discussing what if and what's if nothing can be verified.
Alithia kind of looks at the rest of them, nods her head, sort of gestures a hand. Yeah, it makes sense. Fenian from the Loom, he's been sort of watching the room, hasn't spoken yet, and he just says, I'd like to see that. It's the perfect way to confirm it. It's practical. Soliloquy leans forward of the dawn, and she just says, forgive me, I don't wish to speak around you as though you aren't in the room. Rio, he said. But your companions have also walked with you across worlds. And I find I want to hear it from them. Would one of you tell me, not about his bloodline or his claim, what kind of person is he? If we are to accept him, I think that's a worthy question to uncover.
It's a quiet one. A lot of vengeance. But he does what needs to be done. I don't think he's intent on taking the throne and leading you all to power, or to stay here or to hide. And at this, I stare directly at Kalen. I think he's just trying to find the truth as much as anyone.
Yes, he's honorable and he keeps his word.
And if it means putting an arrow through the Empress, you'll probably be happy with that too.
Slight chuckler on the table. Both of you roll persuasion checks. All right. Good old Berberus, eh?
My job's to be wise, not to convince.
Yep. Yeah, Soliloquy you can see sort of nods. Lastly, the wild Sylvaris. The rest of them have almost sort of like kind of forgotten that they're sitting there. And
I'll just catch her eye and give her a wink.
yeah. And yeah, I think she returns it, to be honest. And she says, the Feywild is already fraying. The voice just sort of like comes out of nowhere. Everyone else just kind of looks at her, a little bit startled to hear it. I feel it through the roots. Things are pressing against the mountains that don't belong here. Whatever the Empire is doing on the material plane, it's not going to stay there.
I do believe we've also come across a rift, or at least a weakening.
At this, Alithia actually says, "Oh, please explain."
It was some time ago now, but we came across a cave where there was quite a population of fungrels, as well as I don't think she'll forgive me for getting her name, but the Spider Queen. And I'll just show the amulet that she provided.
I'll roll a couple of history checks. Nope.
You telling me the Keeper of the Law doesn't remember?
He rolled an 18 actually, for him. So Elder here, yeah, just like you see him squinting a little bit. His eyes a little bit bad with old age. Does appear to be the amulet of the Arachnid Queen. Where did you come across this? Did you go down into the caverns below the earth?
Not very far below.
Far enough. Queen Nephandris was quite hospitable.
No, she... Actually, I wasn't there for that. I say nothing.
Have you seen any other evidence of weakening of the planes throughout your travels?
I think we've seen quite a few.
I know there's been like weird things that I wasn't there for.
We were at the temple.
That tower?
Temple of Eldrin. That had all the goblins and the goblin thing. There was
That tower that we couldn't walk up to?
that was weird. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, there was.
Personally, there's a shit ton of undead roaming through the north, and that's not natural.
Yeah. Good memory, Death Mouse. Calling that out and making the connection. Does someone want to roll a history check? Someone not Berberus?
History. What's this in relation to?
Just trying to remember.
I remember that was the one where we fought the
I mean, I'll roll.
The ghost.
We don't need to roll. Lasser already remembers it.
I remember it vaguely.
Goblins, yeah. Ghosts. Any others?
That tower that we couldn't get near, or does that not a thing?
No, we're talking about those weird rifts that gave us those weird magical properties. Every time we casted a spell, it kind of messed me up.
I have a +8 for history.
You are the remember of things.
Remember.
Yeah.
What do you remember?
Remember.
Should I roll?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Go for 'em.
Yeah, go for it.
Look at that. Yeah. Then the last one that you guys would have seen was on the Frostway. Do you recall when you found the nest of the frostworms?
Oh, I remember the frost worms, but I don't remember the rift.
In the nest, there was an egg beneath a tear that was emanating a lot of heat, hot temperature, and you guys quickly bailed.
That's right.
Yeah.
I completely forgot. We were going to steal the egg.
And you guys missed a massive encounter, by the way, because if the frostworm fought you there, you would have been dealing with the rift at the same time. So you, well, I guess technically made a good choice to bail. It would have been fun.
Casual.
Otherwise. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. No. So that's good.
That makes like 4 rifts. I guess we've come across 4 rifts within the past couple of months.
Ilithia kind of just like sort of opens to the rest of them. Like the evidence is stacking up. Not only does Silvaris feel it in the roots, but these travelers have apparently already been seeing the tears between the realms starting to open again. The signs are all there. Question now is, what are we going to do about it? I propose that we open the Vault of Memories. If there are going to be answers, if there is knowledge to be found that could point us in the right direction or uncover something that we have forgotten since the Chaos Wars, it would be found there. And again, you see quickly just her eyes meet with Ayana as something passes between them again. Put it to a vote. Kaylin's like, you do not have the... And she just like stands up, raises her hand. Kaylin like is kind of like fuming in his place. Silvaris immediately puts her hand up. Fenian, also the builder of the loom, also puts his hand up. Elro here, the old ancient keeper of the scrolls, looks over at Kaylin. Kaylin's like just going red with frustration. Elro here just kind of stays silent. And Naivara of the Scales also looks over at Kaylin and raises her hand after being convinced of Article 12. And lastly, Soliloquy raises her hand. 5 hands against 2 unraised hands. And Alithia says, well, that is settled then. I propose in the short term, we do the test at the Vault of Memories. Once that has been confirmed, and we know that passage between the realms may be possible again, then we can decide on a path of course for what we're going to do about the impending doom. Kaelin stands up, storms out, heads out across his light bridge, back to the Palisade Eternal, and the rest of them slowly start to get up and head their way as well. The ones who had voted to uncover the vault sort of gather up and start just discussing, like, should we do it now? Should we do it later? And it's sort of agreed, why not? Let's do it now. Everyone wants to come and see what's going to happen. Kaelin, he's just going to miss out. Apparently he doesn't care. Whatever. And so we head down into the Royal Citadel. Let's take a break there. Go and do some things.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. You can feel it.
I was going to say, if he doubts me the most, shouldn't he make sure he's there?
Well, so yeah, let me we can leave the stream going a bit. I mean, I think you'll find, right? I don't think he doubts you. I just don't think he gives a shit. Right?
Yeah, he's evil writer, but he's striking me as, for a commander of the military, extremely incompetent.
Do you guys remember what Alithia had said to you earlier?
Yes. You mean he was like the, what's it called?
He's assumed, basically, the power.
Assumed chief of the circle. I mean,
yeah.
King with no crown.
Yeah.
He's been acting like he's been in charge for the last 100 years.
like
Right.
king of the cantons.
Sort of the elves went into exile because of the threat of danger. The Circle of the Blades would naturally be the ones to protect, right? And then because we're protectors, we should have say around what people are allowed to do. And so he kind of like moved into this self-imposed position of authority on the council. And she also mentioned that he's become very bitter as well since his son was lost to the Veil of Eternal Night, which...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, which if you recall... Did I make a map for you? Oh, I think I posted the map in Discord. There is a... Yeah, if you have a look at the notes channel, Vale is beyond the Shimmering Peaks to the north. All right. Cool. Let me do the thing. I'll Alrighty. So yeah, let's just sort of skip forward a bit. We can head directly down into the Royal Citadel from this platform. No need to sort of float away in the buildings and come at it from a different angle. There's a way up here, and so you can kind of just lead down. There's a long sort of winding staircase, and I think up here, up in the spire, there probably isn't a whole lot of interesting stuff to see, but as you start getting lower down, Rio, you start to notice like the odd painting or portrait on the wall, and I think this would probably be the first time you actually see an image of your parents, just standing with the backdrop of the city behind them, probably a view out from the citadel itself. Just he's sort of standing beside her as she's sitting down on a chair, one arm on her shoulder. They look happy, nice, sort of young. You see rooms and hallways sort of winding off and pointing in lots of different directions. You start sort of descending down through the building. And I think you get a bit of a weird feeling because you've never known what home is other than what you've made yourself. And now this is the place that you probably would have called home had things gone differently. Yeah, I think it's probably a weird feeling. How do you think Rio is reacting to this as he's sort of traveling down through this building, which has been here for thousands of years?
Just still confused and just taking stuff in.
Yeah. All right. Eventually, you come down through, and there's a bit of a congregation. So there are still the other Meridians are with you, and some of them have attendants as well. Sort of men at arms or things like that. So a bit of a group coming. You eventually pass down through the lower levels of the citadel, and there's like a sort of further towards the back of the building now. There's like a dedicated room, no windows, stone walls, and just big heavy staircase that just kind of sort of reverses back and drops down directly below. And group sort of, I think Alithia and Ayana are leading the way. They lead you down, and as soon as you start heading down these stairs, you notice that the stone changes, the craftsmanship of the walls change immediately. The citadel itself was all sorts of wood and stone, nice polished marbles, things like that. As soon as you come down here, the stone is sort of grayish white, and you immediately clock that it looks the same as the Heartstone itself, the big pillar, the big spire in the center of the city. So you surmise that you're actually now heading down into the Heartstone slightly. You don't head down for long. Stairs descend, and there is just a circular room with a dais in the center. And the same signet, same symbol that is on the ring is present here. The dais itself looks very similar to the portal engine that you had used back in Ithilmara. And yeah. There are around the sides of the room there are imagery of a great tree. Sort of maybe I think it's been carved or drawn in different phases of the seasons potentially, but it at all points looks just eternal and massive. Yeah, I think no one says anything. I think Alithia and Ayana stand on either side of the sort of central dais, the engine or whatever it is, and just sort of look to you, Rio, expectantly, as the rest of them are sort of gathering in, coming down into the room as well.
I wait for all the main leaders to come in that have come with us, and then I look at, did the old bloke come?
Yes. The only two that left would have been Kaelin and Naivara.
I just
Oh,
look
actually,
at the...
sorry. other way. Naivara came because you succeeded the check against her. I think Elro here was the one who wouldn't have come, right?
Elro, the scroll guy,
Yeah.
Meridian of the Scroll, didn't want to come.
I don't think so, because he... Gosh, this is like 20 minutes ago. my memory's already dead.
I thought he would all be over it for knowledge and stuff. If we're going to open up...
He didn't vote against, but did he abstain or vote against?
He didn't put his hand up, the old bloke.
He didn't put his hand up, I don't think. But I don't think...
Technically against, but...
I didn't think he left it either, though, because...
I mean, if he left, he was walking the same way we are, because we're going to his place.
Well, he would have gone back to his building. Actually, you know what? Let's do it this way. Let's say they all came. Only Kaelin stormed off. The rest of them, regardless of the way they voted, their curiosity has been piqued, and so they are all here, apart from Kaelin.
I just look at all the leaders and go, should I wait for the other guy to join us, or shall I just do this?
I think Ayana just says, Rio, I don't think he's coming.
Very well. And I'll look at my hand with the ring pointing into my palm, and I'll flick it out put it out the other way, and do what I did at the Ilithara.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it magnetically slides off your finger and drops straight into this little central slot in the middle. Clicks into place like it was made to be. And as soon as it does, in much the same way as it did back in Ithilmara, little cylinders and pistons almost like pop out the side of it's like the dice itself is like this kind of cylindrical, how do you say, cylindrical sort of like table thing. Little cylinders pop out the side with symbols on the side of them. They sort of rotate, slot back in with like thuds. Little symbols start shining and brightening up. The whole thing maybe rotates and spins a bit. It's like an engine coming alive, starting to move. And it will, after some time, just go slam down into the floor. And you can go forward and retrieve the ring at this point. And after it sort of slams down, Ilithia and Ayana will sort of just like gesture for you to step back as the room itself, the floor starts to, lines sort of start to appear in the stonework as a staircase starts to slowly descend, just like step by step, in like the circular pattern that sort of spreads itself around and down. And it's as simple as that. They kind of look to the rest, and Ilithia just says, well, that proves that, doesn't it? What do you do, Rio? I assume you grab your ring?
Mm-hmm. Straight away.
Mm-hmm.
Second, it lets me pick it back up.
Yep. I think the rest of the counselors sort of just start discussing to each other, murmuring, and you hear sort of conversations of like, well, what do we do now? Does he just like assume the throne? What, like, he's a nobody. He doesn't know anything about our ways. Why should we allow him? Like, just this sort of conversation is going on. Ilithia will just sort of clear her throat and say, well, we've proved what we came here to prove. It seems this conversation probably needs to be had in more detail, in a more appropriate forum. So I suggest we meet again tomorrow and we can discuss this. For now, I propose we keep this to ourselves, what we've learned. Public doesn't need to know about this yet. Do we agree? And the rest of them say, yeah, I nod, like, yes, agreed. And they're happy to take this to a more formal discussion. There are now things to be decided for the future of their people. Ilithia and Ayana will share a little glance again. And Ilithia will say, considering what we heard tonight about the impending threat, I believe that the Vault of Memories will likely hold the knowledge, or hold some knowledge that may be required to bolster against the coming darkness. has been locked away for a century. Rio, how do you feel about a little investigation down to see the state of it? I fear that the vault wouldn't be so welcoming to the rest of us. It's a confusing place, an extremely magical place. I propose that you go to investigate, see what you can find, see if it is still at all intact after all this time, and then return and we can discuss further what we could do to extract the knowledge. See, she's kind of choosing her words carefully a little bit here, given present company. She says, that said, while the vault may not be welcoming to some of us, your companions, your friends, I believe that you've probably been close enough to them that the vault may be hospitable to them as well, so feel free to bring them with you.
Very well.
She will she'll come over and say to you that, like, maybe a little bit more quietly, just so the rest of the gathering, who are still sort of just talking amongst themselves, don't hear.
Excuse me.
She says, there is something potentially of great importance in the depths of the vault. Very few of us knew about it. If you do find it, and you'll know it when you find it, come back. It could be the key. Be careful on your way down, though. The vault is known to shift and change. The path is never the same for any two people that enter. Myself and Ayana have been in there before. We were good friends with Renaya, and she had taken us in many times. But after so long, I fear that it would reject some of us. The vault is built into the root of the world tree, where we stand right now. The spire, it is not stone. It is not man-made. This was literally, at one point in time, some countless time ago, countless years ago, was a root of the world tree that pierced through this realm of existence. We know not why or how, but it had been broken away at some point and was left here. This vault was built into the root itself. It's an extremely magical place. But the countless generations of knowledge have built up there, and, well, as you can imagine, the resource that provides will be invaluable.
All right. What are we waiting for?
Okay. Let me deal with the rest of them. We'll stay close. When you return. Good luck. And she and Ayana will get over to the rest of them and start to sort of usher them out. Sort of start discussing, saying like, yeah, all good. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it later. For now, they've got things to do. They sort of watch you go. Ayana just watches you guys as you start to descend down the stairs. And for long, they pass out of sight. You head down into the depths. All right. I think as you go down, the vault will actually close behind you.
Creepy.
And you immediately notice as you head down that the temperature sort of changes, fluctuates. It's not normally as you'd go down under stone or something like that, you would expect it to be quite cold and cool. It fluctuates a bit. It's sometimes warm, sometimes cool. It's inconsistent. The stone walls, sort of this, this grayish white. You touch it, and it's actually a little bit warm. Like, it's not like it's warm as if it's been in a fire, but it's not cold like rock would normally be. It's got a warmth to it. And as you step, you can hear echoes, sort of low and resonant. Not even so much that you can like hear in your ears. It's almost like you feel the vibrations in your chest or something like that. As you go down, sort of descending the steps in this big sort of circular pattern that just spiral down. Every now and then you'll step past and just like a big symbol will just like light up on the wall as you go past it. And as the group sort of just passes on by, the symbol will just sort of fade away again.
Do I recognize these symbols at all?
I don't think so. I think they're sort of arcane symbols or yeah. But they're not like specific things. It's more just like incomprehensible stuff, ancient symbols that, beyond the concept of language, I would imagine. Yeah. Every now and then you... Oh, sorry.
Can Ryu tell that they're magical?
Yeah, sure. But why don't you roll an Arcana check?
Oh, no, Ryu was going to ask Donda if he knows, if any of these symbols mean anything to him. If he can tell that it's arcane. So he asks Donda.
Question is, can we see it? Is only Rio can see it because of his royal blood, or is everyone can see these symbols?
Yeah, no, you can all see them. They're like physically lighting up the wall beside you as you go past. It's just kind of like a spotlight, and then you wander past it, and they just sort of fade and dim.
Well, I am very proficient in Arcana.
So am I.
Go for it.
Do I know?
Yeah, why don't you give it a shot?
I will see if I understand anything. Oh, it's
God damn it.
Oh. I think that
must be a high DC.
Yeah, it is. You don't get everything. I think you get the feel like they are
protected.
Yeah, actually, with this, as you start to descend, you all feel this. You feel a bit of like pressure weighing in on your mind, like there's something that's like digging into your memories or something like that. And you get the feel that these symbols are sort of connected to that, like the symbol that just flares up as you go past it, and you'll immediately get this like sense of something just sort of like wafting through your mind. It's kind of hard to even describe what it feels like.
Like a mild headache? Or
It doesn't really hurt. It's almost like there's just someone that just slightly itches or slightly scratches inside your mind, and almost unbidden, just like a random memory will come to mind. Kai, you're in the forest and you're a child and you're throwing rocks at a tree trying to practice, your aim or something like that. And similar sort of visions for the rest of you guys as you're heading down. Just these, not visions, sorry, just like a memory will just like appear. It will come unbidden.
So it's like kind of reading our memories.
That's probably the vibe you're getting. That is, it's almost like something is pressing in on you and trying to know you, trying to learn who you are.
I asked Rio, do we attempt to resist this, or do we just let it do its thing?
I think we let it do its thing. I'm not sure.
All right. I don't attempt to resist the memory, the thing trying to pluck our memories.
You get further down and there are some doors in front of you at the bottom of this set of stairs. As you get close to them, they just literally retract, just slide away. into the walls on either side, and as you pass through them, you open up into a massive open chamber. This is a large cylindrical chamber, and you kind of look down over the side, and it's actually so dark that, and so far down, that you can't actually even see the bottom. And just looking across, you can see the stairs just continue to spiral all the way around this big cylindrical expanse. You continue heading down. Every now and then, like, these symbols will start to appear again, and they provide faint glow for those who don't have dark vision. And as you start heading down, in the very center of the chamber, you start to notice there's like this swirling sort of magical aura or energy or something like that. It doesn't look like it's got a form or a shape, but every now and then you kind of look over, and it does. Yeah, it looks like it's actually coalescing into something. You sort of glance over, and you can see, yeah, it now appears like there are these two cloaked figures, sort of like hunched together. Their movements are quick and furtive. They kind of, you see them looking around, but the hoods that they have up are concealing their features, and they have a bundle in their hands, and they sort of present it forward, and a new figure appears. There's a tiny, tiny, old, gnomish looking man, and they just present the bundle to the gnome. The gnome kind of looks some concern or stress or something, and the two figures just sort of head away, leaving the gnome behind, holding this bundle. And as the sort of the vision here starts to change a bit, you can see there's like a small, tiny face poking out of the bundle itself. The vision changes, and two figures. One is kneeling, cradling the form of a wounded elven woman. You can tell by the now hoods are back, ears on show. The man is just sort of like kneeling down, cradling her, hand pressed to a wound on her side, and into view shapes a ginormous figure of a man, huge, black as night armor that covers every part of his body, wielding an evil longsword, an evil looking longsword. The figure just steps up to them confidently, raises the sword in both hands, and just brings it down, piercing both of them at once. And with that thrust, the entire vision just sort of blows away into the wind.
Do we recognize the armor?
Yes, you do. You have some of it in your bag of holding right now.
Thought so.
And so
We recognize the sword. We recognize the sword, hey?
does look like the same sword. Yeah.
Oh.
And the elven couple, does it look like those photos of my parents we saw as we were walking through?
It did bear a striking resemblance. You continue on down the steps. This arcane energy sort of forming different visions again. Sometimes they're things that just don't make any sense at all. Gatherings of people or... But another vision forms, this time quite clear. You can see the vision is of an underground hall, clearly underground because there are no windows, only candles are lit. Yeah, there are a line of about a dozen dwarves standing up against a wall. They all have their heads held high, proudly. They're grim, they are resolved, but they all share a slight bit of fear in their eyes. They're wearing large, sort of padded clothing. There's something strange about the way their clothing looks. It looks like there's something extra padded or something hidden beneath their clothes or something like that. Another dwarf, clearly a leader, is moving down the line, speaking to each of them, clapping them on the shoulder one by one. And to the side, you can see there are families, maybe. There are women and there are children looking on, a lot of them with tears in their eyes, just standing back, trying to look strong and failing. And you hear a door slam as a hooded dwarven figure storms out of the room, slam the door behind without looking back. You carry on down the stairs and vision forms again and shifts and changes. You see a frail figure in a ruined castle. The night sky is visible through the crumbled ceiling. The frail figure is clearly finishing some ritual. He's on his knees before an altar, screaming to the sky, although no sound can be heard. He slams his hands down. Energy pours from the altar up through the open ceiling into the sky, and you see this sort of greenish, evil-looking aura spread out along the dark, dark forests beyond the walls of this fortress. You see graves start to upturn and hands pop up out of the earth as moaning, shuffling dead start to claw their way up and spread out into an endless forest. Vision shifts again as you continue to head on down. There's a cell. It clearly is a prison cell because there is a window that has bars, although it is open and barred. Beyond the city, you can see, beyond the window, you can see a city below. A river pouring down from far away in the distance that intersects the city itself. A woman sits in the cell. Long black hair, matted clothing is in tatters. She appears to currently be scratching or carving at something on the wall, although you cannot see what she scratches. The last vision you see, just as you're getting close to the bottom of the cylinder, is a figure sitting cross-legged in a cave. There is a statue of a woman in front of him. The exterior, the sides of the vision kind of do not capture what is going on because clearly the cave is so wide that the extents of the vision do not capture it. The figure is head bowed. Something is placed on the ground in front of them, although you cannot see because their body is blocking it. Slowly the figure starts to glow as just celestial lights appear on the body. They start to float and rise up in front of the statue. The eyes of the statue start to gleam with bright white light as well, and the figure itself glows so brightly that you almost have to look away and shield your eyes. And in that moment, as you shield your eyes and you go to look back, the vision is gone. And you have reached the bottom of the landing with just a door in front of you. Stop there for a moment in case anyone wishes to discuss.
Well, that was unsettling. Useful, but unsettling.
Did we all see the same vision?
You all saw you all saw everything.
Some mildly disturbing things.
Shout and pat
Are they-
the wall.
Are they real?
The root.
Was that now?
Image. Turns out it gives memories as well as takes.
Yeah, was that now? Was that 50 years ago?
Bit of both.
Maybe it was past, present, and future.
I don't think the tree has a real reference of time.
Oh, you're right. That's true.
All right. You get to the bottom and the door again slides open for you. You enter a labyrinth of twisting hallways and tunnels. The whole way, runes just sort of lighting up as you go. You feel like you get lost at some point, but there's a sort of dragging sensation you've got. It's pulling you in a certain direction. And so even though you don't really know why or where you're heading, but that's definitely the right way. And then, and then we turn here. Eventually, after a lot of twists and turns, you come to another door that slides open. You head through into a square chamber, and there are flagstones on the floor of the room here. And there are a bunch of blue symbols that are just faintly glowing on the flagstones. There is a door on the opposite side of the room that looks firmly shut, much different to the ones that you've seen before. These runes that are emblazoned on the ground are of a similar sort of, I guess, like style. They look similar, I guess, to the other runes that you've seen so far, although these ones look a lot more simple, a lot more basic. There are several of them just sort of, in a pattern in front of you, in a grid in front of you, and you see up on the wall there is a whole lot of writing that is like, it's clearly some sentence, some text is on the wall above the door, and a lot of the symbols seem to be similar to the ones on the flagstones.
What does the sentence say? Is it in Elvish or something else?
Yeah, not a language you can understand. In a similar way to the previous runes.
Does the language make any sense to me?
No, it doesn't.
If only I had my old character, I would have comprehend languages, but
Yeah.
but unfortunately,
I was going to
Someone
say...
like that.
Sorry, I was going to say, Riv, I've got a couple of interesting ones in my thing there, but
Languages, you mean?
yeah.
Well, Dondar can ritual cast it.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Comprehend languages. All right, yeah. So when you cast this, I believe you need to touch. Yeah. So you need to touch the surface of the words. So you've got the runes on the ground in front of you. There's like one rune on each flagstone, and then there's the text that is up above the door. Which one you want to go and check out?
How tall is the door? Because I don't think Donda can reach.
Yep, he probably can't reach, unfortunately.
The closest one?
Just one of the runes on the ground, you mean?
Yeah.
So there are, it's sort of like a grid. So it's like a 4x2 grid. There are four runes wide and then 2 deep. Which one do you want to grab?
Okay. Wait, what? Wait, one of the 8.
Yeah, so there are 8 runes in front of you in a 2x4 grid.
Top left.
Top left. All right, good choice. You step over. You can actually kind of step between the flagstones. They're quite large. You reach down to touch the rune, and as you touch it, it immediately glows and flares. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh. So when you say good choice, you didn't mean good choice for me.
Well done. A good roll. You take half of this in lightning damage as it just goes as this glyph of warding explodes in elemental lightning, and you take 14 damage.
So that would be my hit dice, right?
What do you mean?
Sorry. I have arcane ward, so I have. Right. Is there anywhere where I can just apply damage, or I have to manually take it from each pool?
If you want, what you could do, could add the arcane ward as temporary health maybe and just take it off that, or you could just like jot it down in a notepad or something and keep a track of it.
It's there. It's there. It's on the sheet. It's just not clear if I have to manually do it all. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure to be honest. I need to check it. Whereabouts on the sheet does it say it is?
Bottom left.
Oh, it's actually a feature. Yeah. I gotcha. Because this would have, at the moment it's saying 8 out of 22, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so it looks like it does it automatically when I edit the health.
Very nice.
That's good.
It probably would have come back though, wouldn't it? When does it
It'll come back when I cast spells from my School of Magic.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. And unfortunately, as you touch the rune, it appears to be a symbol of some kind or secret message, and you unfortunately don't glean any information from it.
All right, guys, don't touch the runes.
I think that's okay. I think I've got a really cool idea.
Okay.
I like to walk up to the door and
Dundar steps well back.
Look at the sentence that's scribed above the door.
Yeah.
And then in my hand, I like to look at the sentence and cast prestidigitation to make it a trinket, a non-magical trinket with the sentence engraved on the trinket. So I use the minor creation ability.
Yep.
And then I would like to pass that to Donda. Can you read that?
I think we can keep the comprehend languages going. As it lasts an hour. Unfortunately, same thing. These are symbols. They're not the sort of thing that comprehend language can detect. Let me drag you over to a room so you can see more what this looks like.
Oh.
That is the sentence that is, I've made it big for you so you can see it, but that is the sentence that is up above the door.
Ah, gotcha.
All right. First three letters are THE, the something, something, something to something.
Is this the point where I point out that I can actually read a little bit of... was it Futhka rune?
Oh, fuck, can you?
Only a bit, only a bit.
It's what language is it?
I'll have to show you my staff riv. I've actually got runes at least.
Nice.
Powerful stuff down it.
No,
Viking,
don't say the name of it, because otherwise people will Google it.
I'm not gonna Google it.
Why would we Google
Oh
it?
shit, this is actually... I was zoomed in. There's a lot more sentences. Oh my god.
Yeah, zoom out and look at the top. There's like 4 lines.
Could be. I don't think it's Elder as well, but yeah, it's runic interpretation. You could have even used the Lord of the Rings runic if I'm.
Lord of the Rings would be hard.
Use the Hobbit runes. This is professional curiosity more than anything.
Well, anyway, so do you guys feel like solving a puzzle?
It's basic cartography. Yeah. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Not cartography. Cryptography.
Out of game, this looks like a very familiar language.
Valheim.
I think it actually might be from Valheim. Yeah. Or they might have used it, but yeah.
There's only a few variants of the runic.
Yeah,
it'd be one of the Darks, I would guess, or some variant of, or Lord of the Rings, which in itself is a variant of that.
Yeah. So what I recommend you guys do, feel free to grab the scribble and you can write stuff on here if you like. We can say that Kai is helping you with his prestidigitation to allow you to write down notes or whatever you like. Yeah, take a crack. And feel free to let me know any other ideas or things that you might come up with.
Where's that a V?
How do I change the color? Oh, I found it. I got it. I figured it.
Yeah.
That better not be it. Really?
The only real challenge is if it is one of the alphabets that has TH using a different symbol.
Yeah, they're just
Sorry.
watching us and laughing.
Hey, I feel like I've been fucking talking all evening, so this is good little break for me.
all these lore drops.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know how to like sometimes you just end up talking a lot, right? Like they're just kind of, that's just what the story is requiring. Like I don't know how to face a situation like that, like a council or whatever.
Is there an erase? How do I delete stuff I've written or scribbled?
Undo. Control Z.
I just do control. Yeah, control Z.
Or you can click the little select box up at the top, and then you can highlight and
Do-
select and delete things.
I'm guessing the fish, the Jesus fish, is a O. Oh shit!
E is the most common letter, so you knock out all the E's. Cryptography. Like E and T are like the two most common letters from memory.
Hmm.
I'm always looking for something more complicated. So I would want to ask, is the language we're translating it to actually English?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be messed up if it was something else. I swear. Oh my god!
No,
really.
I wouldn't
If
do
we were
like that.
translating to like a different language, it feels like German or something. I'm like, oh my god.
No,
Speak Latin.
I wouldn't do you like that. Sorry.
Ariadne.
Usually R is an R, but get some confirmation.
Where's the Bluetooth symbol?
Come on, the last word's broom. It's nothing else.
Yeah, well, I think the X, like the X
Could be
is an M from memory.
Could be an N.
Maybe.
See, something to
Could be also gloom, but I don't think they had a G.
crypt.
When do you use two-letter words that both end in O, one after the other?
To go. It's G.
You reckon it's G?
Yep. Oh shit! Sorry.
I think the straight line is
The
an A, and I'm pretty sure
there's
the lightning
something-
bolt is an S. Pretty sure the lightning bolt.
something. It's not start. The RT.
I'm not sure about the G.
No.
It's not.
The weird F is an A.
To go.
The part?
I will give you some confirmations of
Who wrote pill?
of some
Me.
things. Actually, someone roll. One of you guys can roll an Arcana
But-
or
but-
an investigation or something like that.
I'll go
Yeah.
investigation.
I'll roll Arcana. This looks.
I was going to roll investigation, but that's already 2.
Oh, classic Erendor.
Oh no.
Yeah, putting your heads together, Erendor. I will circle a couple of things that you have gotten correct so far. This is correct. This is
Yeah.
correct. This is correct.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Z's are S's.
This
okay.
is correct.
P is not a P.
No.
I could give you a couple more individual characters. This is correct. These are correct. These are correct.
Okay, the F is. I'm gonna fill
are
in all.
correct.
Someone's done all the A's.
So the G's are incorrect.
The part.
Oh, there's another letter in there.
There's another letter in there.
This is correct.
And P is not P.
P is not P.
Doesn't
Is
seem
not
like
P.
it.
God, this is like a choose your own adventure. Cryptic comic.
You've got a few letters that you've figured out that are just missing at the moment.
That.
And what I probably recommend you start think about doing is trying to like read it as a sentence as well, because eventually things might start.
The hat. Not S. It's. Maybe P is. It can't be a W.
Did we get broom right?
Zigzag is S. So not
The
many
O's
S's.
were correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the B and the O's were correct. The others were not. Yeah,
The
the
B-
symbols don't
the B-
necessarily align with like their English counterparts. So they
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what Russian is. It's English. You just put the R's the other way around.
Is
Last word is blood.
oh, so the B is a B.
Pretty sure the last word is blood.
And the M is a D.
Oh, that makes total sense. Okay, so we so the zigzaggy is that's L.
This is all correct.
That thing. Oh, this is L. It's the L.
So that could be an
Oh, the
F.
P is probably a W, I think.
Is it L blood? If that's L, so this
The
is.
P has to be a W.
Oh, these are L's.
Oh, so that would
This
Will.
word is Bill.
Phil.
so that'd be the vault.
Oh yeah, the P is a V.
Yeah.
Is it? The
The
vault.
N is EU. Yep.
Yeah.
The vault.
The
vault fields.
vault.
I don't know if F is correct.
Well, V and W can be the same letter from memory in some languages.
Or maybe it's. Oh, it's not.
Maybe.
H. No.
I've
Not
got the vault.
shields. The vault lead. Lead. No.
I've got in my head. I've got the vault. Fucking.
To.
Vault Hunter.
I've got the vault yields like W, but it doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound like it's spelt right.
The vault yields.
Yeah.
The vault yields
to. What's the slash? What's this thing? This guy. To go. No, it can't be go. What else has an O? B. Maybe it's
Well, we have the same thing over here as well for the same word.
to something.
Could be an N.
To know. No. T
Grammar.
O B.
It might not be yields though.
It's yields. Or else we got that weird symbol. Is there another Y anyway? Probably not.
Yeah, there is another one. It would be here. It would be maybe this is a U. This thing.
We know that's U.
Well, it would have to be because we've got vault in the top in the top word.
All right, let's try and fill this in a little bit.
You're getting very, very close.
To
The vault has waited to hear the answer.
So that means this last word on the top one starts with a V. Not a
whereabouts?
W.
Can you?
What the
mark?
something cannot. Something is blood.
Cannot.
Well, Vale, were you saying V and W could be the same symbol?
Could be.
Cannot.
X is G.
Well, this word is repeated.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
X is G. Grant
Oh,
is
and a
blood.
straight
Cannot
line is an
grant.
Y.
So, if that's C, the R is
The vault yields to no
What's the P again? Sorry. Oh, it's a W. Crown.
The vault yields to no crown.
What the
And
crown
no-
cannot grant is blood. Waited to hear the answer. What the crown cannot grant is blood.
Well, this is C is C.
Yeah, C is C. Yep. Oh, okay, that's
R is
crown.
R then.
The vault yields to no crown and no vil.
And
No will.
no will. So I'll do that.
The what?
Name what you carry that the crown cannot grant. The vault has waited to hear the answer that the crown cannot grant is blood.
So you need to.
The P over here is a V, but over here it's a W?
No, I reckon. Yes. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, V and W can be the same
Vault.
because
No.
not everything runs on English alphabet.
And no
Yeah, think German.
will.
I was very deprived
So
as a
the
child.
vault yields to no crown and no will, which means it will not.
Name what? Yeah, the P is a W. Yeah.
Name what you carry that the crown cannot grant.
The vault has
Waited to
waited.
hear the answer what the crown cannot grant is blood.
So you need to bleed, Rio. You need to donate some blood.
Why is this always about bodily fluids? Wait.
No, that's an
No,
S.
that's not-
Yeah, but it's saying name what I carry that the vault cannot. The second line though. Name what I carry that the crown cannot grant. Unless that's referring to my
Crown
ring.
grant is blood.
Yep. So it's the
You
vault
need to touch
is-
them in order.
Yeah, so get to BL OOD.
So what do the bottom ones mean? There are
They are some letters.
one new. Yeah.
ELOS. Tolos.
So no, it's like a keypad.
Oh,
Yep, it's just a code.
right.
A keypad that will strike anyone who touches it. But it's probably not Rio.
So I gotta type the word blood into the keypad, you reckon?
Yep, give it a go.
With your blood.
Zap.
Wait, do you have to use your blood to type it into the keypad, or just type the word blood?
When I touched the O, did the slab move or anything, or did anything on the slab change other than my damage?
No, it just exploded.
So it's unusable now?
Nope, still the rune is still very much
Okay.
glowing. Yeah.
So it just attacked me, but nothing else changed.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
All right. Do we see anywhere that you have to like put blood in?
Roll a perception check or an investigation check.
I will try and perceive a location.
We probably
While
should
he's
have done that
looking
to
up-
begin with, to be honest.
While he's looking, I've pulled a dagger out and ready to prick my finger.
Does someone help me, or no?
Yeah, I think you have a good look. Not a super. There isn't a lot of places where things could be hidden. They just look like flagstones. Doesn't look like there's anywhere in particular where you could probably drop blood on them. Like there's no like
Maybe
slot
just-
or indentation or anything like that. Yeah.
There's nowhere to put it, so maybe just punch it in, Rio, since you seem to have the royal blood.
All right.
I mean, the vault cannot grant. It is a vault of memories.
The vault has waited to hear the answer. All right, instead of touching it, I'm gonna say the word blood out loud.
Yeah.
In common and then in Elvish.
You say the words. Wait a couple of moments. And nothing.
All right, I'll try typing it in.
Cool. Which one do you press first?
The Bluetooth symbol.
That's not Bluetooth.
Cool. So you press the one you think is, yeah, that one. You go over and you press it. Roll a dexterity saving throw. Nice. The DC was like 3 because it was just for as you press the flagstone, it drops down, it goes doosh, and like indents downwards, and you just get shaken a little bit off foot because you weren't quite expecting it to just slot down like that. But you're totally fine. The symbol gets pressed down.
Then the L.
Yep. Press that one down. Doosh.
And the O.
Press that one down.
And the other O.
Yeah. That one also indents.
And then the D.
They all of the rest of them just immediately slam down into the ground as well. They glow and flare a bit. The symbols on the floor vanish, but the writing above the door remains. And then the door itself just slowly cracks and starts to slide open as it slowly grumbles and reveals the way beyond. Well done, guys. You guys did that nice and quickly.
If you check general, like I said, I was cheating a little bit because, well, not cheating, but I had prior.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have assumed actually that you would have had something like that because you and your Viking ways. That's good. I mean, we didn't get stuck here all night and all long. Excellent. All right, you can pass on through and you head back into the labyrinth and start. Unless there's anything you wanted to do before we move on. Nope. All right. Yeah, you head back into the labyrinth and eventually you find yourself tugged in the direction of another door. This time you open up into a very similar looking chamber. There are 4 tall pillars in this room. They don't quite reach to the height of the ceiling, maybe about halfway up to the ceiling. You can see there's a glowing blue orb atop each one. And in the very center of the room is a massive, what appears to be stone construct. It's got two massive arms with huge fists, 2 massive legs, and its head that is just currently bowed, almost like it's in slumber or something like that. And beyond it, you can see a very similar door to the one that you had just passed through.
Another test.
Mm-hmm.
Is there writing above this door? What?
You probably, I think. Do you step into the chamber to have a look, or because I don't think you can quite see past it because it's blocking up most of your vision beyond the door. Beyond like where it is in the center.
I'll step in.
Yeah.
I follow.
You guys step in. As soon as you enter into the actual chamber itself, like beyond the entranceway, the hallway that leads into it, you see the head immediately start to like lift up, and its eyes flash on, red glowing eyes that sort of train themselves onto you, and then takes a big slow step and starts heading in your direction. What do you do?
A giant head?
It has
Of
a
the
giant
stone
head.
construct.
Yeah.
Is it holding any weapons?
No, it's not. Although
Um,
its arms are like twice the size of your body, and its fist is larger than like your entire chest. So, you know. Okay.
Do we see any glyphs anywhere? Any sentences in this room? Or is it just
Chuck a quick perception as I bring this over here.
perception?
Can I look as well?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm stressed. I don't see anything. Oh, the pillars. Something to do with the pillars.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see any writing, you don't see any text. You do see this ginormous construct barreling towards you, with an arm being lifted back, almost like it's going to try and smash you into smithereens.
It might just want to high five us.
Hey, very, very possible. I will hand it to you guys. Just cognizant of the time. Do you guys want to pause here and do this when we get back, or are you guys keen to carry on and see what this looks like and what lies beyond? How are you feeling?
If it's a puzzle, expect this to take 3 times longer than you've expected.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like a puzzle. Seems like it's about to come and smash you. I'm about to get you guys to roll initiative.
I'm happy to start with a fight.
Well,
I'm happy to do it now.
I'm good to wait.
I have time. I can wait. I have time.
I am indifferent.
Okay. Yeah, cool. How about we pause here then, and we can pick up right here when we get back.
Wait, are you talking about us taking a little break, or this is like 3 weeks away?
Yeah, well, like just more. We could end the session here just a little bit early. Just I don't want this to drag on for too long if you guys aren't super into it like this late at night, or I know JC's feeling a little bit unwell. Just don't want to drag on unnecessarily. Unless you guys are really keen, in which case I'm happy to go as well.
Let me just put it this way. If I was the only one to figure out that last puzzle, we'd still be here in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So is this a puzzle or a fight? Or you're not
That's
going
a
to tell
fight.
us until we're
That's
ready?
a fight. I'm happy to pause there because it's probably like 20 to midnight for you.
Yeah, pushing
It's
that.
after midnight, isn't it?
No, 22.
22.
Oh, you
Like
guys
11.
have had daylight.
They're at
We haven't had daylight
11:40.
savings yet.
I don't think the fight will be over in 20 minutes.
Unless we
Unless-
all nuke it straight away.
Yeah.
Well, not unless the king can command it.
Off you go, Arendelle.
I don't have a fucking signet.
Oh yeah.
Personally, I'm happy to pause there and start next session with a fight.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I'm the same as Val.
That's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do
Yeah.
that. Sounds good. All right, cool. Oh man, I was really stoked with the puzzle. You guys, I as a DM, you always have that fucking nightmare that you're gonna go half an hour and it's just like actually stupid and it's like, why is the P the same as the W and the V? Like they shouldn't just like throw complete like Nah, you guys cracked it. That was really good.
Prior knowledge on that one.
It's good. It's better than staying there forever. Hopefully there's a bit of fun anyway. So nice to do something different for a change, eh?
Super
Oh,
nerd.
don't worry. Next time you give us an unlocked door, we won't work it out.
True.
And it opens outwards, not inwards.
yeah,
It's a push, not a pull.
An hour later, you just needed to pull the handle? What the fuck?
3 fireballs later.
I remember in high school with my copy of The Hobbit that had Tolkien's version of the runes around the outside on the copy, sitting there with a pen and a bit of paper and doing that. Okay, so E is the most common, so this is probably E, and then T. So when you got T and E, and it's like, well, that has to be a H, and then going through and working out the entire is it cryptographies? Yep, code
Yeah,
breaking.
the cryptograph.
This
Yeah.
was
And
specific-
even my copy of Morrowind that had the old paper map in it.
Yeah.
And you could do the same thing with that and work out the names of the places and then actually go to those places and
Yeah.
confirm that the name that you worked out was the right one.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's fucking
I
cool.
always loved that stuff growing up, eh? It's so much fun. So yeah, this was the Elder Futhark cipher.
Elder Food, yeah,
And
thought
I
it was-
removed the TH. You were bang on. There is, in fact, a
Yeah.
TH character, but I got rid of that because they would probably confuse the hell out of you. So, yeah, good fun. Yeah, dude, it's always so scary doing shit like that because there just is a chance that it's like a little bit like it was a lot of text. It was like quite a lot of seems it's quite intimidating, but I intentionally put quite a few like common words, so like there were like 4 or 5 does. A couple of 2s, things like that. So hopefully you can cross off some of the low-hanging fruit and then, just work your way through it. And eventually it all just starts falling into place and super satisfying, eh? Good fun. Cool. All right, yeah. I was hoping for a bit of more of a dungeony experience on the side of things. So, yeah, fun to get into it.
Quite good.
Yeah.
Yep. This is our first dungeon in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's weird, eh? Like, I it's really weird trying to do session prep stuff because the gameplay person, the gameplay side of me is like, most sessions should always have a bit of exploring, bit of combat, bit of like
Bit of
social
everything.
stuff. Yeah. But like sometimes the story just doesn't allow for that. And I
No.
think it's better to be faithful to the story than it is to just like inject random fights or random like, dungeon crawls just for the sake of it. So I don't know, man. Yeah.
Well, we're in politics right now, so
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to have a dungeon crawl while we're trying to discuss the fate of the world, right?
Exactly. But somehow I snuck one in. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, no, it's cool though.
We've got all these level up abilities we haven't had a chance to bloody shit up.
Yeah.
Because we dodged all the stuff in the Feywild on the way in.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Fun times. Let's call it our switch this stream.
Yep. So next week, same time.
The key